Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. So let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DsPgaming E-Prostitution, Rage Quit and Delete, and final results of 2 Begathons. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you may have remembered back at that time, Phil Burnell needed about $25,000 to square away his situation. His tax attorney, CPA, whatever he was calling it, said that, you know, if you can get half, that might be a good start. Phil tried to go above and beyond that and said he needed about $16,000, something like that, give or take, if he can. Then that ended up getting dropped down to about $9,000. Then I think the final results was $7,000 that he needed to drum up before he went to go and see his sick parents. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys all may know, or if not remember, people were asking where's the Emerald 7 money at, so on and so forth. We heard a whole lot of excuses, but Phil was willing to pull out all the stops to get his money. Now, some of you guys might not actually remember what the final total was. I don't either. So I'm hoping to go ahead and bring this to you, Snort Burnell being our guide, and we can find out exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure it's about $2,400, give or take. So something along those lines. Either which way, we're about to find out. Hopefully you guys get a laugh out of it. It should be fun. So let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on at GTG Network Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet, but coffee and cappuccino is already on the table. Please sit down and help yourselves. And breakfast is coming up shortly. It's time to watch me work.
God! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Oh boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, yet again we are here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DsPgaming E-Prostitution. Oh, so dirty, so filthy. Ugh. Rage Quit and Delete, and final results of 2 Begathons. Let's go. See if I go ahead and enlarge that for you guys. For anybody who wants to take a look at it. Oh! Okay, he actually made the goal $5,000. Or at least I guess that's what he said it for that last Begathon. Smash the taxes. That's a befitting name, Phil. A befitting name.
The time is now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my big birthday bash marathon.
Yes, one of the primary reasons I'm doing this is fundraising via tips to help to basically take care of my tax situation.
Disgusting beggar.
Alright, the situation is thus. I need to raise a certain amount of money in a very short amount of time in order to basically qualify.
Now, just for clarification, ladies and gentlemen, that actual marathon, if I remember correctly, wasn't actually held on his birthday. It was held the day before. The day after, he had, I guess, a co-op stream with Brian and Kekken, and he only had the morning stream. He was supposed to have 2 streams, but he only had one, and then he ended up leaving Sunday. So I think the actual, if I remember correctly, the Begathon was on Friday, and then he had the joint stream with Brian and Kekken on Saturday morning, and then he took the rest of Saturday off, and then they left Sunday, if I remember correctly.
For a payment plan so that I don't get screwed over by back taxes, all right? And in reality, I waited until this morning to set up the goals and everything. Reason being, I spoke with my tax guy this morning. I wanted a concrete answer on stuff. And what you see on your screen right now at the bottom of your screen is a tips bar that is based on what my tax guy told me. He basically said if you can raise this much money, all right, you will be good to go. You will qualify for the tax plan, and, you know, you'll be set for the year. Okay, now here's the thing.
Now, like I said, I remember, now keep in mind, what he initially owed, he said was something in the ballpark about $25,000. He was hoping he could come up with about $16,000 of it, being that he had admitted, we've gone over that broadcast, that he was still sitting on at least some of the Emerald 7 money, as well as some other money that he had put away. Then he said $7,000, then it fell to $5,000. I don't know. His greed is insatiable at sometimes.
If I don't raise this much today, is it the end of the world? No. No matter what I raise today, it's good. Because no matter what I raise, it goes towards the taxes and are going to help. But if I can raise this much, okay, this is going to basically qualify me for the tax plan that will pay off these back taxes slowly. And it's the best situation possible. All right, if I raise more than this, that's even better. That means I have some surplus now to help pay the tax payments that I'm going to have to pay over the course of a few months. But in reality,
no. There is no surplus. Whatever it is that you get from this event should all just go, to the tax guy immediately. Not you paying up the $5,000. They qualify you for the program, and then you sit on the rest for later on. That's stupid. You should be trying to put down the maximum amount, not sit there and try to appease them with $5,000 or $6,000 and then hold on to everything else for later. That's stupid, which only leads people to believe that you're trying to rip them off. Yeah. DSP News.
Expect to raise $5,000 in tips today? No. It would be amazing. It would be kind of like, wow, take a big weight off of my shoulders if I did. I would be able to go to Connecticut to spend time with my parents this week and not have it constantly nagging me in the back of my head that when I come home, I'm going to have to deal with this giant fucking problem that's probably going to ruin me financially. But I'm not seriously expecting...
I e-bag, right? You're constantly asking your viewers and your fans for contribution.
To raise that. I'm just not. It would basically blow me away if I were to raise that much money in one day. But as you can see, we have the tips bar at the bottom of the screen. This is going to continue to be there over the course of today's stream.
I basically need help, all right, and I'm hoping that putting up a tips goal every day will motivate people to tip me.
That's why I was looking. I was like, oh my god, like, it's almost 9 o'clock, and I'm looking, I'm like, wow.
The contributions were real low. I was like, damn, normally with Minecraft, are way higher. That's why I was like, I don't know what's going on tonight.
That's another thing, too. That's actually a good point. Think about all the tip goals that he had set up leading up to this. I'm not going to say who gave him that idea. We're not going to say that. But anyway. But think about all the money he made on that. Couple $100 a day. As for the whole day, I should say. Couple $100. That racks up. And it racks up rather fast. Or it can. Where'd that money go? What about Teespring? What about the shit? He was still excuse me. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. That sriracha bacon starting to hit. Who says bacon don't bite back? What about the money off Patreon that he was still pulling? Yeah, it was between $600 and $800. It's still between $600 and $800. Where's that money at? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's all these different variables out here, and none of that ever gets brought up. I mean, for obvious reasons. But just for clarification's sake, just trying to be thorough. DSP News.
You know what it is? I hate to say it, guys, but it's the tips goal is a double-edged sword. So I had the tips goal earlier today. That urged people to tip me and help me out. They did, which was amazing. But then when I hit the tips goal, oh, that's it. Now it slows down. Phil hit the goal, so there's no reason to contribute anymore. And it's like, it sucks because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If I don't put a tips goal, then chances are that I probably won't have a lot of incentive for people to tip me. But if I do the tips goal, then when I hit it, it stops. So it's kind of like, you know.
You know nothing. You were stupid. Well, you do know nothing. I'm not going to even label you with the honor of being called Jon Snow / Jon Targaryen. I'm not doing that. But either which way. First off, you set the goals too low. You set the goals at like $200. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that to start off, but you should be gradually trying to raise that throughout the week. To be honest with you, for as much tax problems that you're in, the tip goal should have been at about $500 per stream. Now, you're gonna hit that? No. Well, hell no. But you should still have it up there anyway. That's what the situation was. You needed to know where to set the ceiling. Now, the thing is either you're going to go ahead and undercut yourself, which is what you did here, or you're going to set the goal too goddamn high and no one's going to want to try to reach it. You got to find a balance. But then again, why am I telling you this? You're a full-time streamer, okay? You're a full-time interactive streamer. You know what needs to be done. You know how to handle all this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just some brain dead idiot on YouTube. You've got this on lock. But just for the record, you might want to just set it. You want to set it somewhere between 500, 750, something like that. Matter of fact, you could even have it, your tips goals match the sub goals. So if the sub goal is such and such, maybe you should set the tip goal to that same thing. Just saying, just for clarification's sake. Oh.
Setting up a tips goal. Reason being, the tips goal is kind of it's not necessarily honest, because like I said, if I could raise $17,000, yeah, that would mean all my taxes are taken care of. That would be the ideal state. It's also incredibly unreasonable. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to happen. That's insane. But
okay, so that came this right here came after that first or second reduction. Because if anybody you remember, it's a Mrhuth Stuff video where he talks about exactly what he was looking at getting. He was talking like $25,000, some crazy shit like that. It was something between $20,000 and $25,000. So that's when he reduced it, and then he reduced it again, and now that's where we're at. Either which way, I mean, more than likely, ladies and gentlemen, that number doesn't even exist. So it is what it is. It was all padding for that trip to see the sick parents, as you know. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, just for clarification's sake, I want to put it out there that initially, when his parents allegedly asked him to come out there and see them, he said he couldn't go because he had to take care of these taxes and he had to work. And only when it became all expenses paid, then all of a sudden it prompt him to be like, okay, I'm ready to go now. Me and Kat will go. Just saying. Sick parents, getting up there in age, could die any day, can't afford to go out there and do it. All of a sudden, they want to dip into their pockets and pull out some of their reserves. All of a sudden, Phil's like, "Oh, okay, no, I think it's a good time to go. I have to see them. It's so important. They want to meet Kat. They're dying to meet Kat, right, Phil? Just saying."
What I raise, it helps. So that's kind of why I'd rather do a total tips rather than a tips goal, because I think a tips goal is kind of dishonest. We are working towards the goal, and every little bit helps via tips. Okay, guys? Yes, the tip bar is automatic. Yes, it is filling up automatically. I have this set up via Streamlabs. I know, I never do stuff like this, and now it's like, oh my god, this is actually working. I got it working. Streamlabs is pretty damn good.
If you look behind me, I decorated my office for my birthday again, just like I did last year.
The thing is Streamlabs has been good for a long time. And you refuse to use it. You wanted to use Mrhuth because Mrhuth had all these little... I don't even know how to describe it. They had all these little dumb shits behind... They had these little knickknacks behind the scenes he could use to manipulate. And that's why he stuck with it. You know what I mean? He hadn't used Streamlabs in 2 years. Because he had one bad... Keyword, ladies and gentlemen. He had one bad experience with it. And he dropped the damn thing for 2 years. Even though people were telling him, go back. It's gotten a lot better. It's a lot easier to use. So on and so forth. I think some of the people who watch him use Streamlabs. I'm sure they do. I think Streamlabs is the standard. And wouldn't do it. wanted to stay in the fucking Stone Age with Muggsy. And then when Muggsy burned him, he still was trying to stay with Muggsy because he was doing little slick shit behind the scenes. Not behind the scenes, but you know what I mean. That's just like buzzword. He was doing some slick shit behind the scenes with it, and he didn't want to have to relinquish that until he had no choice. Like Muggsy was, they were training wheels. You were only supposed to go to Muggsy for a couple months maybe, and then go back to Streamlabs. They update their stuff regularly. Whatever the situation was on Phil's end, it was more likely Phil's fault. Because Phil doesn't update any of his stuff, remember? You guys remember when he said that. On that laptop that he uses, he hasn't updated any of the drivers, he hasn't updated any of the software because he doesn't want to mess any of his settings up. And then that's when his microphone ended up crashing on him because he didn't update OBS, so the software didn't sync up. And then he was like, I don't understand what happened. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. So, yet again. And then he acts like this is something new to surprise the kiddies, to keep them enamored. And it's the standard. Even the way he's doing it now is still behind the times by at least a year. At least. You know what I mean? Where is the virtual tip jar? You know what I'm saying? Or tip cup, or tip mug, or tip margarita thing. You can make it anything you want, really. That's off to the side like everybody else has. Why doesn't he have that? Why doesn't he have the little customizable little trinkets that fall into it? Where's all of that stuff that interactive streamers have? He's saying that, oh, I'm trying to bring myself into the modern era, and yet you're still treating this like it's day one. Day zero, if you will. He's so far behind the times that when you go and look, it's the equivalent of what people back in Greece when they visited Sparta and just seeing kind of, this is after Sparta fell. It was like, that's what it looked like to see like a piece of the old world that philosophers and people like that were actually writing about. He's no different. He's no different. He's still very much stuck in the goddamn Stone Age. And he thinks he's being progressive. He thinks he's doing something special. And he's not. He's just falling behind. As every day that he does not try to bring himself up to the standard, not even exceeding it, to the standard, he's falling behind by a week, a month, even further. And that will be another one of the legacies of Darkside Phil.
Nice decorations behind me. We got birthday balloons all around the place. Right? Pretty cool. And every time that a big contribution comes in, alright, I have party horns and stuff that I can play.
37, ladies and gentlemen. 37. And this is what we're doing. 37. This is what we're doing. This is supposed to... And he says, I'm not a children's entertainer. I don't have children in my fan base. But you feel the need to do this. You feel the need to have little mascots and shit. If it's not for the kids, then who is it? Who is it that's Phil's age who wants to come and see that? Plus or minus certain circumstances. Who wants to really see that? Just saying. And don't get me wrong. There are plenty of streamers who celebrate their birthday. They have, like crazy string and they do silly shit like that or whatever. But you're kind of just there spending the birthday with them. They're drinking. Maybe you're having a beer with them or a couple shots or whatever. You're having a good time. Phil isn't doing that. Phil is not doing that. Just keeping that in mind.
To celebrate. Alright? Now, people have also said, well, if a big contribution comes in, will you dab or whatever? Sure. You know, whatever you guys want. I'm in a situation here where I just want to have a really great positive stream today. I'm incredibly grateful for anything you guys contribute. So, whatever it is that you would want...
So you're not going to dab for the fun of it, or for even the meme of it. You're willing to dab for money. That's what Snort Burnell meant by you being a prostitute. And that's what I mean when I call you a whore. Because that's what you are. You move at other people's whims for money. Remember with Swaggins? Used to try to get him to dab and whatnot and send big donations and Phil wouldn't do it? Or Phil said, oh, if I get maybe, $100 a large donation, I'll dab, and he never did it, or if he did, he'd do some half-ass one at the end of the stream. Now he's willing to whore himself out because he really needs that money before vacation time. Imagine that. Imagine that.
You know what I mean? For a contribution, I'm happy about that, okay?
Anything for this, right?
Android Cheers says you have a house sitter coming daily is because you have a cat. No, it's not. At all. Quite frankly, the reason we have a house sitter coming by is because we're nervous. Because we have so many people who fuck with us that we are nervous that someone is so dumb that they would actually break into our private community, which, by the way, just by stepping foot on our street without permission is illegal and is a crime that you could get arrested for. But we're afraid that some asshole is going to try to do something, you know? And even with all the things that we have in place, we're still nervous. So we want someone coming by every day to check on the house. So that way if something goes wrong, they can call the police and get it taken care of rather than we come back after a week away and find that the place is burnt down or something, you know? That's why we're doing it. So, there you go.
Right now, I'm being honest.
Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, being someone who's lived online for 10 years and being a prisoner to this shit. Imagine that. Imagine you doing this shit for 10 years. You have exploited, I'm not going to say shared, because it was all for profit at the end of the day. You exploited almost every aspect of your life for profit. You even exposed people within your life's you even exposed the people in your life, some of their aspects, some things in their lives for profit. And then at the end, when everything turned against you on your own accord, you're the one who did it. You turned these people against you, right? You're the one who called these people out. You're the one who threatened violence on these people, on some of these people, and so on and so forth. Now, you moved yourself to Seattle, or to Washington State, I should say. Put yourself into that gated community. I'm thinking now, as I'm starting to think about this, you did all this on purpose. You purposely never had any intention of going out and seeing the Seattle life in general or any of that. Maybe the cuisine, the food, basically, Phil, just in case you don't know what cuisine is. You maybe just that, but nothing really else. And the thing is that's crazy, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on a tangent a little bit, is there are some amazing food trucks in Seattle that you're missing out on. And you should consider that. That would be actually a pretty dope DSP tries it, but you're an idiot, so it is what it is. And you got gout, and that cat's not going to allow that no more, so it is what it is. You missed a pretty golden opportunity on that. Anyway, you moved yourself out to Seattle, into that gated community, because you wanted security, and you wanted Panda to basically take care of you. And then as things continue to decline, you continue to build a prison cell around yourself within your own home. So now, years later, you're so paranoid. You're so much of a shut-in, right? You're so much of a shut-in, which is the reason why Panda, one of the reasons I would hope Panda got out of there when she did, because she wanted to actually go out, she wanted to travel, she wanted to do things. You wanted to do staycations, which is stupid anyway, because you're a half hour to an hour away from just about anything that you could ever really want to do. You don't need to really actually stay out at a bed and breakfast, or even go to another hotel for 3 or 4 days. And then, even then, you guys only went out to see a couple of attractions, eat a bunch, and then come home. Well, not even come home. Come back to the hotel and watch DVDs. You could have done all that at home, which is the reason why SOK was up your ass about that. And they were rightfully so. They were right to do so. It was a waste of money to do all that. With that being said, you've made yourself a prison to this shit, to this thing online. And now you're so afraid. You're so afraid that people are going to mess with you. Let's clarify that. You, not Cat, you. That now you have to have someone come to your home and keep watch just to be on the safe side. Now let's think about this rationally for just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Playing devil's advocate. Let's say someone really wanted to go out of their way and actually try to get at Phil. Phil is going to put somebody else, somebody innocent, in harm's way to protect his own home. Because let's say, for example, that someone did want to go ahead and hit the house up. Let's say, for example, that person who's supposed to be house sitting ends up walking in on that. What happens if the people inside or the person inside panics? Then what? So if Phil's already predicting a very bad situation, let's say, panic sets in, that person may not have enough time to call the cops. So then what? And that's going to the extreme of it. No one's going to do that. By the way, let me clarify, ladies and gentlemen, no one's going to do that. Okay? No one's going to do that. Even the people who really do dislike, despise, or even hate Phil aren't going there with that. And I advocate them to not to. I don't want to see you in jail over this silly shit. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Like I said, he'll hang himself. I promise you. I promise you. He'll hang himself. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. Just laugh it up. But this idiot right here has built it in his own head that that's what's happening. That people are literally coming for his life. This is like Evil AJ 2.0. Evil AJ did one of the greatest pieces of work that could ever have been done with Phil's bullshit. But all of a sudden now Evil AJ has not only so Evil AJ took the soul of Phil's content, now Evil AJ wanted his life. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is how fucking silly Phil was back then. And look at how that paranoia has translated now. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen. DSP News. Shouts out to Evil AJ.
You guys, I have no money. My bank account is empty.
Guts for Garters did a 50-bit cheer. He says, Dark Souls 3 is easy. How many attempts did Gundare take you? Not hating, I'm just saying I'm pretty good. You died more on Dark Souls 3 than you have in Sekiro. Hate using this term, but they could just get good like the rest of us and stop whining about no easy mode. Guts for Garters, I have something I need to tell you. Alright? I do. I have something very important I need to tell you. I'm not good at these games.
Really?
This shocks me.
I don't know if you knew this yet. I'm not great at these games. I'm not a high-level gamer at all. The only games I can really play at a high level typically are old-school Street Fighter, and every once in a while, I can play some FPS games at a decent level. I'm not great at these games, alright? Most people know that, apparently you don't. I mean, the reason in Dark Souls 3 I died so much is because I fucking suck. You know, that boss, Gundyr or whatever, there are two ways to beat him easily. Number one, have a really good build, which I didn't understand when I was playing the game for the first time. I didn't know what the good builds were. Or number two, parry him, which I've never done in Dark Souls intentionally. I've never, on command, parried a damn thing in Dark Souls. So the two ways you cripple the boss, I couldn't do. If you actually went back and watched my second run of Dark Souls 3 last year...
So you're shit at games. Just as people said you were. And people had already proven this. Now you want to admit it. Now in this desperate time of need, he's willing to come out of his snout and reveal that he's shit at games. He's never been good at them. He'll never be good at them. And yeah, that's just the way it goes now. So Darkside Phil, who spent years trying to defend his actions, spent years saying, "Oh, it's all for fun. You shouldn't take this seriously. This, that, and the third." I could win that game show. I'm arguably probably one of the best all-around gamers in the country. Now says, years later, now that all the real fanfare is gone, all the money's starting to dry up, you know what I mean? And he's fighting for relevancy and people from breaking into his house and murdering him, apparently, allegedly, now wants to say, I'm shit at these games. Yet does redemption runs of them, what, at least once, if not twice a year? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. DSP News.
Completely destroyed him. I wrecked him because I had a good build, and I just look at the damage output I was doing to him. I was completely demolishing him, okay? So night and day between the first and second runs, just with a little bit of knowledge, okay? Dark Souls 3 in general...
A little bit of knowledge. So, no, what you try to do what you did is try to assemble an overpowering build so you can muscle through them. Instead of using any tactics, any strategy, developing any skills, looking at the attack patterns, you didn't do any of that. You just wanted to kind of bulldoze through them. You basically act like a blunt instrument. That's basically what you are. You're just a meat cleaver. Nothing else. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you think about it, that relates to how he is in life. Think about his finances, for example. We've gone over this, but think about his finances. Instead of coming up with a strategy, instead of coming up with a plan and sticking to that plan, he thinks, "Oh, I'll just throw more money at it. That'll take care of it. I'll just throw more money at it. Give me more money so I can throw more money at this." Instead of budgeting, coming up with a strategy, sitting down with Kat, pulling your resources together and figuring out how we can divide all this up and how we can make all this work, learning how to cut back on certain things, so on and so forth. No, just give me more money so I can throw more money at this. And now you see how he treats games too. And so, as I've said, he's treating his real life, or he has treated his real life, like it's a video game. And it should be no surprise to any of us on why he's failing so badly at it. It is what it is.
Is the easiest of all the Dark Souls games because, number one, if you have the right build, you're overpowered, and there's a lot of builds that are really good in that game, by the way. And number two, summoning. You can summon on every boss. The reason I couldn't beat Gunder is because I didn't summon. If I had summoned, I probably would have beat him quickly. Android cheered. He says, there's a clip of you saying, at any time I can pick up a controller and play a game at a professional level, is that a joke or taken out of context? I don't remember at all when I said it. I'm certainly not saying I didn't say it, because over the years, I've said a lot of dumb shit. No, I cannot pick up any controller and play any game at a professional level.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
With no practice and no effort. That's insanely stupid to say, okay? However, with a lot of practice, a lot of determination, and quite frankly, with help from you guys, the viewers, yes, I can persevere, and I can overcome things. And I can beat games that I never thought I would ever be able to beat. And, you know, so yeah, I have no idea. You're asking me to try to remember.
That's a nice way to walk that back, Phil. That's a real nice way to walk that back.
One quote that I said over my 11 years I've been on the internet, and I'm sure I said it, and it's stupid. I said a lot of dumb shit over the years, right? That's the thing that I've kind of tried to tell you guys, if anything, the thing I've learned over the past decade. The world is not black and white. The world is not dealt in absolutes, and something someone said at one point does not 100% absolutely represent who they are as a person, because people change and evolve over time, okay?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, when that statement was made, the dude was like 28, 29, almost 30 when he said those things. So this whole situation, this whole revelation, this whole epiphany that he had about the world's not black and white and people evolve and all this, that, and the third, most of us learn that early on in life. So it's funny how Mr. Valedictorian is only now picking up these life lessons now. Kind of like wings. I don't know what it is about pork tips and wings, even boneless wings for Jordy at the moment. I'm gonna call them boneless wings for right now. I don't know what the deal is with these late bloomers, but it's funny how when these guys are on top, piss on everybody else and they're right about everything, and they knew what they were doing, and that's why they were in the positions they were in at that time. Now all of a sudden everybody's humble. Everybody got their head down. Well, Phil's not humble, but you know what I mean. Everybody's humble now. Everybody got their heads down. Everybody wants to see everything in a retrospective type of a way, you know. Everybody can kind of see the hypocrisy of all the things they said and did. If they can't outright admit it, I don't know. It all sounds like bullshit to me. DSP News.
Before we begin, what I'd like to do is establish some ground rules for today's stream, because obviously what I'm trying to do is motivate you guys to contribute, and I need contributions today, being very frank with you, for the tax situation. So, what I would like to do, I set up a nice balloon there, is have it so that we have ground rules for levels of contribution. What I mean by that is, for example, if someone tips a certain amount, I do something. So, for example, I have these party horns. When you watch me on a stream, you're getting pure, unadulterated fill. You're getting out of me my pure, opinion on the matter. For the most part, it's pure fill. You're getting the real deal. You're not getting the fake acting fill. You're not getting a Muppet, like I like to call some other streamers who, they overact for the camera. They have the dyed hair, and they have to be this certain stereotype to make money from kids. I'm not like that, and you guys know that. For 10 years, I've prided myself on being the real me, not some bullshit character to make money. All right?
So you're this pathetic dude who wants to claim that he's Italian when he's really Polish. You're an unapologetic habitual liar. Let's definitely not get that out the way. You're a failure at everything that you've touched. In life, in otherwise... You know what I'm saying? You're the quickest person to put somebody else down for what they do, especially if they're successful at it, and then try to sit there and justify their success by saying, oh, I don't do that, and that's the reason why I'm at where I'm at. If I could do what they do, but I choose not to. I choose to be honest with you. And then ask them directly for money instead of conducting business and actually going through the certain avenues and making the connections and so on and so forth. And you wonder why, later on, how you can't get the same type of opportunities they do. How you can't get the collaborations that you want. You can't have the opportunities that everybody else gets. But it's not like all that shit was handed to them on a silver platter. That's what you did with Machinima. That's what ended up messing you up over there. Because you thought Machinima should have linked you up with other gamers. And they should have catered you and whisked you away to every big gaming convention and so on and so forth. When all you had to do was ask. You had a connection over there. All you had to do was ask. But you were too lazy to. Oh, I'm Darkside Phil. I have 160,000 subscribers or whatever it is. They should just ask me. They asked me that one time, so I just expect them to do it over and over and over again. But they never did, and I don't understand what happened. Just like how, oh, I made great money June, July, August, September, October of 2016. Why am I not doing that in 2017? It's supposed to be like that every year around this time. I should be making great money. Who thinks like that? Who thinks like that? And every year that goes by, you're supposed to be trying to change. You should be trying to do better, especially if this is your livelihood. Not be a blunt fucking tool and sit there and do the same shit year in, year out and expect to get the same results, if not better. You provided nothing. Views kept dropping. Interest continued to drop. So guess what? Financially, you fell too. And you have the nerve to sit there and say, oh, I don't know what's going on. When at one time, you had 3,000 people on stream. Now you're fighting for 400 or 500. You've fallen quite a bit. All the people who were loyal to you and did your dirty work, you ain't sold them up the river, or you cut them down, or they left on their own. But yet you still expect the same amount of money, despite the fact that the people who provided that money, or the resources, or the situations, aren't there, aren't active, or not in play. What the hell is wrong with you? And the thing is this isn't necessarily, well, to this extreme, it's exclusive to Phil. But there are other people like this too on Twitch and on YouTube, respectfully. And all of them are sitting there complaining about, why is this all happening? Oh, it's this person's fault, it's this person's fault. But what about you as the individual? Not to sound like Sargon. But why haven't you guys looked at yourself and been like, you know what can I do to change this? Just because you think your content is good doesn't mean that it's good. If you used to get 50,000 views and you drop down to 5,000 views, there's a problem. Now, yes, you can blame some of that on YouTube if you will, but then obviously you yourself need to change. You need to do something different to put yourself back in a position. You can't just keep doing the same thing as your numbers continue to dwindle and keep blaming YouTube all day. Or keep blaming this person or keep blaming that person. Someone that, actually, I don't want to bring up that example. Just because I can't think of the other guy right now. Because I've never actually watched any of his videos, so I don't even want to, I don't want to put that out. I don't want to put that particular situation out there yet until I actually get to watch the other guy's videos and see what's up. Let me do that. So scratch that example. But still, especially in this online environment, things happen every day. You have to be able to have the flexibility to move with it. Even your fan base, no matter how staunch and how devoted they are to you, want to see you evolve and get better. It's just how this all goes. And for whatever reason, Phil never picked that lesson up. So that's what I've always said about people carried him kicking and screaming to the next checkpoint, basically. That's a good example, a checkpoint. But they shouldn't have. They should have left him and forced him to change. They should have left Phil Burnell behind and forced him to change. If he doesn't, then let him die out. So people, for example, say, oh, it's you detractors that are keeping him propped up, so on and so forth. And to a degree, I agree with you. I agree with you. At the same time, it's the very people who support him is what keeping him really propped up. If the support dies out, then he falls out with it. And you can't say, well, you can't say with full clarity that it's the detractors that keep his supporters coming in. I think that to a point they are the driving force, but they're not the end all be all. And at the end of the day, Phil's not going to change. He thinks that there's still a market for what he does, despite the fact that there really isn't. It's pity at this point. That's all it really is. He's just not man enough to admit it. DSP News.
Receive a tip of a certain amount, I'll celebrate and blow the party horn while I give my shout out. If we do like a really big contribution, people for some reason want to see me dab on stream. I don't know why. Dabbing is so outdated in my opinion, but people like it. I don't give a shit.
It's so outdated, yet 37-year-old men throwing parties for themselves with balloons and streamers and so on and so forth is less pathetic and outdated? Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you guys a real question. Who throws a birthday party for themselves? I want you to think about this for a minute. If you decide to have a birthday party for yourself and invite, friends and loved ones, have it at a nice restaurant or something, that's one thing. But even then, most people will just plan that for you. But who throws a birthday party for themselves? At home, with a bunch of balloons and streamers, and streams it. And where's the soulmate at? I'm sorry, where's the soulmate? Soulmate. That's what I meant. Sorry. Where's the soulmate at? Where's she at? Where is she on this joyous occasion? He doesn't have a person in the world to really share this moment with him. You've cranked yourself into another year, and yet you have nobody to share with except for a bunch of faceless people online. And you're begging for money. And then establishing ground rules on how they should give you that money. Instead of just being appreciative that, one, you get to draw breath another day. You get to beg another day, if you will. And two, that people want to come out there and even see you. And then third, that people actually want to give you money. But the first two don't matter. Just give me money. And because it's my birthday and it's a birthday marathon that supposedly is 12 hours, but it'll probably only be up there for like 8, if that, which is really just a normal work day. Praise be Almighty has pointed that out. Give me money. Just give me money. Don't ask any questions. It's my birthday. You love me. Give me money. And he wonders why people laugh at him. He wonders why people laugh at him. He's 15 going on 40. He really is. He never grew up. At all. He's still that spoiled piece of shit 15-year-old who's mad about that Wolverine figure and in this decrepit body that he's in now. Slowly dying from the inside out. Everything that Phil Burnell, for anybody who wanted to make this argument, because people have done that in my DMs, for everything that Phil has built and whatnot, because there was one of you I didn't get a chance to respond to, so I'll do it now. You basically said, shouldn't we respect everything that Phil has acquired and built? I would if he owned it, but he don't. He doesn't. He has a condo and a house. Doesn't own either which one. Didn't own a car in his life. He leased them. He has a bunch of figurines and shit that means nothing to him, so it shouldn't mean anything to me. What does he really have? What did he really accomplish? Having 80,000 videos on YouTube? I don't know if that's really an accomplishment. To be honest, I don't know if that's really an accomplishment. But if you want me to give him a charity, sure, he can have that. What else has he amassed? What else has he done? What else has he done that deserves, that requires for me to put him on a pedestal that he hasn't already put himself on? You see what I'm saying? he's been given enough charity throughout his YouTube career, if you will, his online presence. He's been given way too much charity, but he's been given enough. The reality starts, well, has started years ago. And all I'm doing is pushing it forward. And guess what? After I'm done, the next person will pick up from where I left off, or where Tevin's left off, or Theo, or Arjun, or Snort Burnell, Mighty D, James the Lesser, Agent Proper, LSB, Dark Dave, you know what I'm saying, Mrhuth Stuff. Pick your pick. There's always going to be someone who's going to pick up the reins after a generation decides to pick up and leave. This is going to be something that he has to deal with. This is part of his life. And the funny thing is, well, the irony is some of the very people who used to support him are now the people who have laid the groundwork for people like myself to do what I'm doing now. So in truth, as I said before, this is what his legacy is going to be. The detractors, the trolls, and the haters will be Phil's legacy. Wings might still be able to walk away with something. Low tier God will pretty much die with everything. Because he ain't giving nobody an inch on nothing. But DSP is not going to have anything when time's up. He'll have nothing. No matter what, a detractor video will always pop up before him. Before an image of his face comes up, it'll be memed up 20 times over before you actually see anything of his actual information. That isn't something that has already been filtered through a detractor, or a hater, or a troll. This is what his life is. This is what it's always going to be. He wanted to be the realest guy on YouTube, and come to find out, he was weak. And that weakness allowed people to prey on him. The very people who he took advantage of and he preyed on. He's still a predator, don't get it twisted. But he's also he's a hunted predator. He's found bigger predators that he can't contend with. So he only picks on the little guys. He's too scared to venture out and actually do anything else to defend himself. And that's going to be his lasting legacy. There isn't really much left for him, to be honest. Unless he can come out and make a change. But if he's going to do that, he's going to have to take some hits. He's going to have to bleed for it. He's going to have to bleed. Virtually, I mean, not in real life. But he's going to have to bleed a bit, and he's too scared to do that. And, ladies and gentlemen, a man or a woman who's upstanding dies once. A coward dies over and over and over again. Phil Burnell knows everything about that. DSP News.
Want to see me dab? I'll dab on stream or whatever. And I'd consider doing that. So, what do you guys think? Because today's gonna be a long stream. I need to, basically raise as much as I can, and if it means doing silly stuff in order to do it, I'll do it. Okay? And that's how people are. That's what they do. This is how I get attention. Acting like a moron, acting like a fucking clown. Because these fucking people didn't overreact, no one would watch them. Because they're fucking boring. It's like watching fucking paint dry, so you gotta act like a clown. It's gross. It's for this. It's not because they love what they're doing. It's not because for the love of the game or because they're true gamers. It's for this. And this is what it's become. It's not about putting out a quality review. It's not about putting out a quality playthrough or a quality stream. It's about making this. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
And then here's the irony. The irony, sorry. It's talked about quite a bit in detractor circles. About in the community at large, on how amazingly unself-aware that he is. And in actuality, Phil Burnell became what he hated. And he knows it. I think he knows that. He's not completely self-aware of everything that he says, because he's an idiot. But he is aware, for sure, that he's become what he's hated. And he considers this as a transition. He considers this evolution. And in actuality, he's a slave to this shit. That's what he is at the end of the day, and that's a harsh term. But that's what he is. And he can't even, and the thing that makes it even more tragic, to be honest, is that he put the chains on himself. He did it willingly. And now he's so delusional that he doesn't even remember who put the chains on him. He doesn't even understand how he even got into this situation. At least not completely. Let me give you an example. And I've noticed this a lot lately, watching other people restream. When Phil bans people, some of these people, right? And if you've been on an Almighty Tevin stream, praise be, LSB, Dark Dave. I've even seen this on a James the Lesser stream every once in a while when he decides to restream. Phil will ban someone randomly and be like, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to ban you. I didn't mean to ban you. Oh no, you just banned him. We saw you do it. You just banned him." Or he does this other little slick shit where he'll go in for that lean in manual and then be like, 5 minutes later be like, someone will jump on a sock account and be like, "Hey man, why'd you ban me? I didn't even," you know what I'm saying? I was talking to a mod. "Oh, I didn't ban you. That must have been a mod who did that." Mods, whoever it was, unban him. And the mods will sit there and get pissed off at Phil like, "We didn't ban him." For example, who was it? Maybe Golden Colts, I guess. I remember one time, I think he was the only, if Golden Colts is a mod, and I think he is, he was the only mod at that time. Swaggins got accused of this too, actually. They were the only mod on duty at that time. Phil banned this one dude randomly. For what reason, even Phil don't know. 5 minutes later, the guy gets on a sock account and he's like, "Hey Phil, why'd you ban me? I was talking to somebody." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't ban you. That must have been a mod." Swaggins is like, "Fuck that. I didn't ban him. And I'm the only one here." So, I mean, yeah, the guy got unbanned, but Phil immediately threw that on somebody else. But if you go and look at the clip on YouTube, either King of Crybabies, LipJan, Mrhuth Stuffs, No Content DSP, one of those four have it, or had it, where they show the clip of Phil leaning over and banning the guy. And he acted completely oblivious of it. Like he didn't know what the fuck was going on. This is where he's coming from. This is what he's coming from. This is where we're heading to. So if this guy right here isn't mentally breaking down, there's something very wrong. And at first I used to think it was funny, because Tevin used to point it out. And I used to laugh at that shit, think it was kind of funny. Now, it's starting to, it's like it's not a cork or it's not a tick. There's something wrong there. And what I mean by something wrong, I mean like this, I'm trying to be serious now. There's something very, very wrong with that. Where you commit an action, or you commit yourself to an action, and then you forget it almost immediately. That's not normal. And the thing is if over my, I don't know, almost 2 years of doing this shit, Phil has deteriorated quite a bit. He's slowly been going on a decline, and I don't mean online. I don't mean his online persona. I don't mean the quality of his content. I mean him. The guy is falling apart. And yes, I take my jabs, I throw my punches and shit. I have my knockouts and everything, but there is something kind of wrong with him. And the mind will almost always break down before the body. Well, depending on the situation. So this is just something that I'd like you guys to think about moving forward. I'm not saying to show him any pity. I'm not saying any of those things. If you do pity him, that's fine. You have my respect for it. But what I am saying is that as time goes on, things are going to get a little bit worse if he doesn't do what needs to be done. He's 30, he's going to be 37, or he is 37. If he doesn't start doing what he needs to do now, he's not going to make it to 40, 45, 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to make it. DSP News.
No, I'm not going to eat spicy shit or get hit in the face with a pie. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. By the way, Hectop? I can't even pronounce the name because it's in another language. Just tipped me $38.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now. Really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more. This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. Now, I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too.
Thank you very much to Hextop for the $38 tip. Okay? Let's go ahead and update the leaderboard because you actually just beat Hank by $1 and got up there. So Rob previously had tipped $30 and Hank had tipped $37. And now we got a $38 tip. Didn't... Okay, that's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, like if I get a big contribution via tips, I'd be more than happy to like pause the gameplay and do something silly for you guys, okay? Alright.
I'm a mature adult, and I'm not a children's entertainer.
But what about the integrity of the YouTube video? For those people who can't be there for the stream, you're gonna sit there and basically muppet it up for the YouTube video, for the stream, but that could negatively affect the YouTube video, and then what? Isn't that one of the fundamentals that you were very much against? That you wanted to make sure that the YouTube video still stayed intact, that the playthrough still came across with, you know, some level of entertainment. And yeah, I get it's your birthday and you want to ham it up, but whatever. That's a losing battle right there.
No, I'm not putting an on-screen list of things I'll do and prices. This is not a fucking... This is not a services list. This is supposed to be people support me and want to just, you know, enjoy the fact that I do daily streams and they want us to continue to do them and not lose my house and be supportive. And then in conjunction, I do something silly. Not, oh.
But that's prostitution. That's prostitution. That's what being a whore is. Money is exchanged for you to do something. You might as well put up a service list. I mean, it is what it is. Here's the thing. If you're going to donate $30 and he don't dab, how much do you have to donate to get that dab? Yeah, he'll give you that little stupid blower and whatnot. Good for him. He's used to being on his knees. But how much will it cost to actually get a fucking dab? 100? 200? See what I'm saying? Like, you can't come across and say shit like that and think you can run away with it. It don't work. A hoe is a hoe. Just accept that shit and move with it. You know what I'm saying? You're 5,000. You're 25,000 in total in the hole. You need 5,000 that day. You better just go ahead and do whatever you have to. I mean, shit. Twitch administrators know what you're willing to do. You might as well go ahead and show it to everybody else.
I specifically paid $1 for this and this. It's not what this is. So I'm not doing that. Wait a minute. Hank,
wait. So here's another thing that Phil doesn't like being told what to do and whatnot. So if he put the list, he doesn't want to have a specified action with a price attached to it because he doesn't want to feel like he's obligated to do it. Fair enough. But yet he's okay with begging you guys day in and day out for this money for his taxes. And he's even conceded and said, I will dab if a certain amount is donated. He won't tell you what that amount is. But for $30+ or over, it is established that he's gonna blow on his he'll blow you. Sorry to make it sound that way, but that's what he's gonna do. Huh? Like, what? Like, at the end of the day, oh. I'm not going to call you a high-class hoe, Phil, because you're not worthy of it, to be honest with you. You're a thought, for sure, but you're not worthy of getting Amaran status or anything like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, she gets tens of thousands of dollars to do some of the shit she do. You're just a washed-up whore. You're just a washed-up hoe. I don't know what the... I don't understand how you could have any pride over any of this when you beg for money every day. I don't get it. I don't understand why we try to hold on to this thing that doesn't even exist. You gave that up. You sold that a long time ago. Oh my.
$39. And he says, I will not be denied my rightful spot by a Russian bot. Ha ha.
The connections are awful, the players are awful. When I finally get something going, my team blows it horrendously by allowing us to get attacked by 7 choppers. At this point, I think I give up. Oh, what? I walked up and knifed him. His gun barrel was over my shoulder. He fired and it killed me. I give up. I'm done with this game. This game sucks now. This game is terrible. I ran right up. The gun barrel over my shoulder. Dead. Fuck this. Sadly, the experiment of Modern Warfare Remastered is over. It was fun for the month when it was free on PS Plus, and now it's garbage. I'm never playing that again. Fuck that stupid shit. After that, I'm done. No way. Alright guys, Blackout to finish. Blackout actually was really popular last marathon and ended up being a really strong end.
Oh my god. The one day that should be festive. The one day that he should let everything go. Everybody should get amnesty. He should just let whatever silly shit happens in the game go by. Phil Burnell still figures out a way to piss it all up. Amazing. You were amazing. Like, seriously. The one day that you would be expected to let shit go, and you still couldn't keep yourself from being a piece of shit. And only proved and solidified that you're a quitter. And you would quit over the dumbest shit. Amazing. Amazing. It's a shame, Phil, that the mean streets of Connecticut didn't put the boot to your motherfucking face when you were a kid all those years ago on Street Fighter. Because, I mean, I assume you were a quitter then too. You're certainly a one now. So it's a shame that they didn't run you out of that arcade and made sure you never came back. It might have done you some favors. Just saying. To quit like that, and on that day, where we're supposed to be promoting all this positivity and all that shit, one day that you should have been able to laugh that off, oh, it's stupid, and just move on, and that's what you choose to do? Oh boy. Oh boy.
So let's hope we can do that this time. Okay, I'll be back. Thanks, guys.
We have to keep playing it to make money, 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 money. That's all it is. It's not even like they like the game. It's money, 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 money. And I'm not like that. I'm not, you know? The reason they're doing that, Swagons, is to this. This is the only reason. They see the fucking dollar signs in their eyes because, oh, it's a fad, it's hot. I gotta play the hot thing to make money, money, money. And I'm not like that. I will play it. I played it a couple times when I had a chance. I'll play it again tomorrow. Do you really think that, I'm being honest, do you really think that they value your attendance and value your viewership and value your contributions when they literally are playing the cash cow game all week? They drop everything they're doing.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why I love Snort Burnell. This is the reason why we all love Snort Burnell. And this is why Phil tried so hard to take Snort Burnell down. It's moments like this, given the present scene that you just saw, that leads to moments like this that Phil can't live with. He can't. Because he knows how much of an ass clown he looks. He knows how much of a lying piece of shit he looks like. And he can't deal with it. And when he sees those videos, it's going to get 7, 8, 10,000 views. It hurts him to his very core. But Phil can't change what he is. He may try to curve it, but it won't last. Holy shit. Thank you, Snort Burnell. Thank you. Really, thank you.
To play the cash cow game all week. Do you think they care about what they're doing? No. They care about this. They don't care about what they're doing. They care about this. Did I hit the goal that basically would take care of everything and I wouldn't have to worry during my trip to the...
Let's blow this up for you. Let's go ahead and see the king in all of his glory. Let's go ahead and do that. Jesus Christ, you're not... Shit. Oh boy. All right, let's take a look and see we'll see what we got here. Oh boy. Oh my God, failure. Oh, children, this is what failure looks like. Just keep that in mind. I'm not saying you can't do what Phil does. I'm not saying I would hope you could do it better. But this is what failure looks like. 37 years old, looking like an ass clown, begging children for money. And then tries to his hardest to prove or distinguish himself as better than people who make tens of thousands of dollars more than him. In 12 hours, most streamers are easily in the 10s, 15s, 20,000 mark. Phil didn't even break 1,300. Just keep that in mind.
No. Oh my god! That was great! Oh my god!
But that's still an awesome amount raised. I'm very pleased. Thank you to everyone. Like I said, some people have been asking me questions like, so what's going to happen now? It's very simple. With all the money that I've raised for these taxes, I'm going to go to my tax guy and say, this is what I have.
Here's what you guys need to do. It's just by coincidence that I paused it there. When Phil lies to you guys, when Phil lies to your faces, tell him to look you in the eye when he do it. That's all I would tell you guys to tell him. Seriously. Just tell him to look you in the face. Does he look like an individual who's panicked right now? He made about $100 an hour, a little more, a little less. He's way off from the $5,000. That means, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, if he doesn't have the 5,000, there's not going to be any IRS payment plan. There's none of that. He's going to lose his house, allegedly. I would be a bit more high-strung if I was him and if I was in his position. Just saying. But Phil is just like, oh, it is what it is. I'm still going to go on my trip, see my dying parents. It is what it is. And everything's okay. Everything's just a normal day. Just some extra padding so he can get that authentic East Coast Italian food, right?
So, this is it. Unless a miracle happens and somehow magic falls out of the sky when I'm in Connecticut, this is what I have. So, with this, what can we do? Are we good enough to get on a payment plan?
And where's the Emerald 7 money?
Because I was trying to raise the amount that my tax guy was telling me to raise, and obviously that didn't happen. So
can't even look you in the eye. It's funny that he's a hoe, and he's on his knees, and he can't even look you in your eye when he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I'm just saying. Seems a bit disrespectful, if you ask me. It seems a bit disrespectful.
Hopefully, this is enough that he'll say, okay, we can get you on a payment plan. Maybe
Phil, stop messing with your pig ears. If not, they're going to toughen up, and then it's going to take a whole lot longer to boil, and no one wants to eat that when they're too tough. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're messing with the product. Stop, please. And if you put it in the spam, someone's going to end up biting into a hard piece. No one wants that. Be considerate to the customer. Be considerate to the customers that are going to come later.
Best terms, maybe the payments are going to be way bigger monthly than I had hoped, but at least I can get to a point where I'm not massively defaulting.
Holy fuck, he can't look you in the face. He already has the cash, and he can't even look at you. He can't even look at you. Look at you. Why are you so scared, Phil? Talk to Daddy. Why can't you talk to these people right? You already scammed them out of the money. It's not the money you want to scam them for, but you still received some of it. What's the problem? Why do you look so manic? Oh my god.
On taxes, you know what I mean? Sambuca cheered. He says, do you still drink alcohol? You seem to work too much to really unwind like that. I do. Occasionally. It's not often. Maybe every once in a while. Once a week or something when I'm out.
Once a week. Despite the fact I've heard you say that you've been known to have a drink 3 times a week. And how am I to believe, and this is me just personally, that 1, you've given up your habit of buying 1.75 liter jugs of Tanqueray, or at least the 1 liter bottles of Sapphire, and you're not drinking at least every night, having yourself a drink. You're 37 years old, Phil. If you want to have a drink every night, you go ahead and have one. Now, granted, you and I both know that you're not just having one drink at night, you're probably having a couple. But, we can keep that between us. But you sitting here pig-splaining on how you're not an alcoholic does not change the fact that you have alcoholic-like tendencies. You're not fooling anybody. This is what alcoholics do. They sit there and make excuses and try to downplay how much they drink and when they drink. Phil, if I had to guess, you're someone who drinks by himself. And there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. So, just own it. You don't have any friends. You really don't have any family that's around you. I assume Kat doesn't drink as often, if drinks at all. So, not to say that she does or doesn't, but she doesn't seem like one to me. So, my guess is you're drinking alone. And on Twitter. And on Kiwi Farms. And watching Detractor videos. And watching WWE. And that is pretty much a sum up of your day. Take it for what it is.
Cat. Maybe if we're at a restaurant, I'll have a drink like a beer or something. Every once in a while, I'll have a relaxing drink at night, but it's not all the time. So.
Chronic liar.
Well, I use the automatic chip tracker from now on, says Roy King Tree. Let me tell you, it really helped today to have it. I didn't have to constantly update the tips total. At the same time, it's obtrusive. I know it is. So for today, it was okay, but for ongoing playthroughs, do you guys really want to see this bar filling up constantly? But
really, it matters now? And as Phil said, tip goals are dishonest, despite the fact that he keeps doing it. But on top of that, he doesn't want to make it easier for people to track what he makes. That's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. He doesn't give a shit about what you guys think about the playthrough. Most people aren't going to watch it anyway.
I don't even know what the goal would be for each, for me, here's what I think. This bar is important, because when I'm using it, I really need your help, okay?
But you need their help every day, though, Phil. Taxes are an ongoing thing. Losing your house is an ongoing thing. You keeping up the business, keep the business afloat and running is an ongoing thing. Let's be honest.
And not to say that, daily your support isn't helpful. It absolutely is, and it goes towards my bills. This is going towards a special thing. If this became something normally on a stream every day, it wouldn't be special anymore, and it would just become commonplace, and it wouldn't have an impact. I think having this bar up today...
So you begging for money to keep your bill, to pay your bills, to keep your business afloat, to save your house, none of those things are special? And it's just an ongoing thing? Is that why people tend not to support you as much anymore? Just saying, I'm just trying to work off what you're giving me, which isn't much. Can I at least get some teriyaki sauce with this spam? Please? Some barbecue sauce, maybe? Something?
An impact. People were coming and being supported because they were like, oh, look at this, we're trying to fill the bar, right? Versus, oh, if I just have everyday odds there every day, who cares? So, no, I don't think this is going to be sticking around. No, these 12-hour streams are not going to be a regular thing, Hot Ray. As you can see, I'm super exhausted. This is just for a special occasion. I work full time. Every day I'm streaming, between 8 and 10 hours. This is a special 12-hour marathon. I'm so beaten. I can't do this all the time. If I do this all the time, number one, it's not special. Number two, people won't come out for it because it's all the time. If I miss one, what's the big deal? And number three, I don't think people would be as supportive if it wasn't for a good reason, so.
Wait a second, but what about the excuse you gave us about you couldn't do a 12-hour stream or a 24-hour stream because you would die? What about that? Just saying.
5 would be easy. Oh yeah, I'll never get a job or pay taxes. Honest pay for honest work. Fuck you. I don't do honest work, asshole. Only suckers do. Only sucker works a 9-to-5 job. Alright. There's a nice lean-in manual ban for the end of the night. For someone who's being an asshole, so they're out of here. And they're not coming back. I'm just going to ban. Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic. Oh, man. Oh. Can you tell?
Oh, look at that sweet face of failure. Face only mother could love. Oh, Phil. You lived online too long. Really. You really did. And you fought so hard, not really, to keep it. For what? Amazing.
I'm beat. Oh, brother.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we walked away with $2,445.17 in tips, plus whatever he accumulated beforehand, right? And the whatever's left of the Emerald 7 money, which theoretically that all should be there, at least the majority of it. And yet he's still gonna cry broke. And yet this man's still gonna have the nerve to demand, because that's really what it's starting to turn into. Demand help on a regular basis. This is what I said earlier about this is what allows him to hobble along. This is what enables him to keep doing this. And it's only dwindling, but Phil don't care, because as long as he's getting a little bit, he'll still take it. If he'll do literally whatever he can not to have to get a real job. Even though the money's declining at a rapid rate, he'll still take this, what little he can, over getting a real job. And he could still do this, and he could probably still get this and still have a part-time job. He really could. He would probably even make more. But Phil's too stupid, you see.
Help! Save the pig! What the heck? A pig with a party hat. Hello, Mr. Piggy. Ziggy Piggy. Save the pig, the game. The whole game you're trying to save the pig's life. Help! What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
Oh boy. We're not gonna let him take the easy way out. Let's let him suffer a little while longer. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the end of that. 2 back-to-back Begathons. Walked away with about 2,400 plus bucks. He didn't really set the world on fire, did he? But he has some nice padding when he goes on vacation, so that's a good thing. What do we take from all this at the end of the day? Here, I need to take him off screen. I can't look at this shit. I think in the end game, you're just seeing the dominoes continually falling on him, and he's just not willing to transition. If he's not going to get a real job, right? If he's not going to go out and try to become productive, he could at least try to make himself better as a streamer and as a YouTuber, even though he's supposed to be a full-time interactive streamer. He could be a better streamer. He could reach out to people and get some advice. He could even watch other streamers, which he does, but he looks for little cheap tactics that he can do really quickly, and hopefully they'll pay off big. You actually have to commit to it. And if not, then you're wasting your time, and by proxy, you're wasting other people's time. I don't understand why it's so hard for him to figure that out, but that is the even flow. That is his situation. And I don't think he'll ever grow out of it. So failure is just going to be a very familiar bedfellow to him. He kind of just has to live with that. And in a lot of the ways of, like, let me give you an example. Like, let's take Andy Worski, for example, right? He's in a real bad spot. And yet people still want to see him. And people still want to see him do well, but people still just want to come out and see him and see what he'll do next, and so on and so forth. Phil can't even draw that type of attention anymore. And when he does, what comes out of it? What is it worth? What does it mean? He's just going to spew a bunch of lies that we're going to pick apart. We're all going to have a bunch of laughs over it, and then we move on and wait for the next situation. And if he is trying to mitigate, you know what I'm saying, his circumstances so people don't make fun of him, it only makes him that much more boring. You're not making my job any harder. You're not making this any harder for me. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm going to carve you up. We're going to have a good laugh. I'm going to serve breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or brunch, and then I'm going to move on with my day. Just as everybody else who's listening. But you have to live with this. And how long do you want to continue to be the village idiot? In the words of Total Biscuit. R.I.P. to Total Biscuit. How long do you want to be the court jester? Sorry. How long do you want to keep being the public toilet of the fucking internet? The King John, if you will, of this shit. I'm just saying. Like this, one day you're gonna wake up and realize that I wasted some of your best years. And I don't mean just playing video games. I mean, you could have gone off and traveled. You could have gone off and done a bunch of things. You could have gone off and met a bunch of people. You could have developed you could have had real experiences. And you chose not to because you wanted to be safe. And what does that mean at the end of the day? You have nothing to show for it. That's why you keep doing these retrospective streams. You go back and look at all the things that you did, and in your own head, you imagine what you could have done. In truth, when you watch a retrospective stream for Phil, it's him just living through his own regret. That's what makes it a bit depressing. And that's why you watch it through Tevin or somebody else. Because it's depressing watching it through him. Especially the way he looks when he looks at John Rambo, and mainly John Rambo, but John Rambo and the rest of those dudes back in Connecticut. He misses that shit, and why not? He has no one else to talk to. He has no one else to interact with. It's just full blown regret. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And yeah, it's a trying time for Phil Burnell. And though I like to try to make this shit funny, or at least somewhat entertaining, there is a real world aspect to it. You know? It is what it is. I'm not saying you have to be sympathetic to him. You can if you like. But sympathy is what brought him here in the first place. Just to be honest. What are you gonna do? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report. And this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network Productions. I've been your host, /anchor, GTG. And I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. End the broadcast.